I did stunts for 20 years when I was with WWE. I mean, for the people who don't realize, it's a day after day. It's a human stunt show.
And Milla is a great creative partner. I think we're quite different people. And, some of the shortfalls and shortcomings I have, Milla definitely makes up for.
One always has to die.
I'm a massive fan. What you've done for wrestlers trying to break into acting and being taken seriously cannot be overstated. So thank you for opening doors.
Oh, thanks, Tom. I appreciate it, man.
I think you have one of the most fascinating and versatile film careers because you always seem to make a point to work with directors with a clear vision. What stood out to you the most about Paul as a director?
Was starting there with he just had a vision. He knew what he wanted. There's a lot of things. It's probably a lengthy conversation just talking about Paul in general, but he also had a very clear insight of who he wanted this character to be and the tone of this character, the feel of this character. But also, he was just like a really great human being. I love people that just feel like they're so friendly and they're so warm and they're like willing to hear me out and they're willing to collaborate, which is, not most of the time, but a lot of the time, directors they have their vision and that's it. Like, that's the end of the day. I don't want to hear what you have to say. I have my vision, and this is the way we're doing. But I love people you can actually talk to. This is why I really love independent films, because I'll find a lot of times on independent films, there's just more room for flexibility and collaboration. And so that was it. I think just because initially we had talked before I had even got the script. And so I kind of had a sense of who he was as a human being, because I was familiar with his career. Obviously, he was hugely successful way before we ever met. But, upon meeting him and getting to know him as a person was I just really believed in him. I really felt comfortable working with him, and I knew he would do me and my character justice and also be willing to kind of hear me out when I had thoughts. And then with, the script and with Milla and everything kind of packaged together, it was like there really wasn't anything to say no to. It was just like one of those things, just all the stars aligned. It made perfect sense.
Well, and one thing I love about action movies these days is that they're getting away from the I do my own stunts mentality. And I think it's why we've never been closer to a stunt category at the Oscars. Right. Is there a specific stunt that you did that immediately made you go, oh boy, I should have had my stuntman do that one instead?
Not on this film, and not in particular, because I've never been that guy. I never felt like I needed to do my own stunts. Like, I don't feel like I have to prove anything. I did stunts for 20 years when I was with WWE. I mean, for the people who don't realize, it's a day after day. It's a human stunt show. I mean, it's kind of what I did. It's not something, I didn't get into acting to be a stuntman, and I've had so when I first started, I was doing a lot of my own stunts because they would typically find guys who matched my build, but they weren't as athletic as I was. So a lot of times I just ended up doing my own stunts. And a lot of my fights that I do my own fights a lot. And it's just because I'm super comfortable with it. And also, it saves us a lot of time, because a lot of times when you have stunt people step in to do your fight sequences for you, because a lot of times they're so up close, it's just hard, covering his face, and you're really trying to fill in the gaps, or you're either spending a lot of money on face replacement. So a lot of the times I would just do my own fight scenes, and I'm comfortable with that. But having said that, I still don't get excited about it. I felt like I did that for so many years that I just rather do a nice, deep, dramatic scene full of dialogue, and that's new to me. That's super challenging to me. So that's just kind of it. That's the way I am with things.
How'd you like my story?
So this is your 7th project together, even more if we include producing. You obviously really enjoy working together, so...
There's a man who's keeping count.
Outside of the obvious with your marriage, what makes this partnership work so well for both of you?
I mean, we're interested in each other.
Yeah. Definitely interested.
I mean, we have a lot of conversations. We talk about everything from history to philosophy and life.
And Milla is a great creative partner. I think we're quite different people. And, some of the shortfalls and shortcomings I have, Milla definitely makes up for. So I think, the combination of us is we're much more powerful together than we are apart, certainly from my point of view. You know, it's really good to have someone who's like as skilled an actor as Milla is giving me advice. You know, because I didn't come from the stage. I didn't grow up with actors. So I feel like while I always had kind of quite a good grasp on the look of a movie, the actual nuts and bolts of getting a performance out of somebody and telling a story effectively through an actor is something that Milla has really, she's enhanced my process tremendously with that.
And Mia, you've been an action movie staple for nearly 3 decades. Compared to when you started, how different is your approach to stunt work these days?
Well, after 30 years of taking quite a few blows and then 3 kids, I try and let my 22-year-old stunt double do like the wide shots and stuff, and I come in when necessary. I know all the fight choreography. That's something I love and I'm really good at.
She's really, I mean, stunt people love Milla. She's so easy to work with. She gets the choreography really fast. She enhances it as well. She has great ideas. It's a very collaborative process working with her on stunts.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like a dance, and it feels like, if your body is moving in that direction, why would you pull a punch into that direction? Why wouldn't you backhand them? Like, or whatever, like, just for instance, off the top of my head. But like, yeah, I mean, I feel that, at this point, I've sort of come to a point in my life where I'm not as like precious about stunts. I used to be like, I do everything. And now I'm like, I'm a mom of 3 and I've been doing this for 30 years and I have pain in my back and pain in my knees and need to do physical therapy and I need to like, also be there for my kids and be functioning, so I do the most that I can, and especially I make sure that, like, what are we going to see on camera? Like, what is the essential things that you need me for? Because if you're just doing a big wide shot, that's not necessary, because you're not seeing my face. It could be anybody. So it's just about, like, focusing in on the right things.
And it actually makes for more efficient filmmaking as well. Quite often, an actor insisting on doing everything isn't necessarily the best way to make a movie because, people get tired. And then when it comes to the really important stuff, they can't quite deliver because they did all the wide shots. Whereas you can easily use a stunt double for that. So I think, I think from a filmmaker's point of view, Milla picking and choosing what she chooses to do, I think just makes the filmmaking even more efficient.
So, how'd you like my story?
I still don't know how it ends.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.